Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you guys are having a blessed day so far. Let me add my extra camera. Okay. Whoops. Good morning. Good morning. I hope I'm in all the right places. Welcome to Mad Scientist Monday, you guys. Let me make sure that I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to double check really quickly. I have a habit of looking at that camera, but it's not working. So if you guys see me keep looking over there, just know that I am a mess because I'm using my laptop camera right now. Okay, so I'm live there, and I'm going to assume I'm live on YouTube. Good morning. Hey, Karen, how are you this morning? Oh, it's not until tomorrow. Hey, Leslie, how are you? I see you, girl, by the way. Have you done another YouTube video? No pressure. I'm just asking. Just asking. Oh, Jill, I'm so happy you got it today. Oh my gosh. I feel like I don't know. I've been having a baby trying to get journals out. I just wasn't expecting there to be such a huge response to them. And so we had to kind of play catch up a little bit. Good morning, Tracy. How are you? Hey, I see that a couple of you are on the vertical, which if you guys prefer that, that's fine. But if you would rather have like the wider view, you can pop off of the live with the vertical view and go to my channel and you'll see that I'm also streaming in wide as well. So you're hearing two voices? I don't know. Is somebody else hearing an echo? You know what? Let me turn my mic on. Let me switch my mic. How's that for sound? Is that better? I'm wearing a mic, but I forgot to like connect it. So hopefully that's better as far as the voices are concerned. So welcome to Mad Scientist Monday. If you are new here, we meet on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And what we're doing is we are playing a game. Every Monday, we do our mixed media mashup. And so if you would like to play along with us, I will be showing the QR code in just a little bit where you can download your own game. But this is what the game looks like. It comes with different products or processes at the top and then challenges at the bottom. And then I've cut mine up and I put them on sticks. I want to say popsicle sticks, but I know they're not popsicle sticks. These are the ones that the doctors put in your throat and make you say, ah, right? And so I pull these out randomly on Monday, and then I have to do whatever the sticks tell me to do. I am probably going to make things a little harder for myself than they need to be, but these are the sticks that I pulled last week, you guys. I do feel like I keep pulling the same sticks, so I'm going to leave these out. So I'm going to set these to the side to make sure that I'm pulling 4 brand new sticks this week. We'll see if I make it too hard for myself. I missed last night. Mom turned 90 on the 31st, so we had a surprise party for her. Oh, how special. Make sure you're taking care of yourself too, Karen. But that is so wonderful. What a loving gift for your mom, right? 90 years old deserves to be celebrated. Good morning, Debbie. The sound was better before. Oh, Lord. Are you stressing me out, Jill? Was it really better before? I wonder, because I have my mic in. Are you guys not hearing me through the mic? Let me see. Let's put my mic in the right place because my air is going to be coming on and off. And I really do want to be mic'd. So you guys let me know if you can hear me okay. Karen said it was better before. Well, heck. I just hope that it doesn't... Okay, so this is using the como se dice, the camera's mic, and this one's using a dedicated mic. So you guys are saying that this sounds better? Okay, so I'll put it back. I put it back on the camera's mic. Hey, Karen. Oh, you're saying hey to somebody else. I'm hearing fine. Yes, it was. Okay. Hey, Chris, how are you? I know. let's get started. Oh, I did not bring my guide out tonight. I mean, it's here. Y'all should, man, if you guys saw my face, you would just be cracking up because it is so ridiculous. But I have to have everything out because I don't know what I'm going to be called to do. So I have to pull everything out so I'm ready. But I have created a guide, and it's 5 ways to prep your page, your journal pages. If you purchased a journal before last week, you probably received an email with your guide. If you haven't, I realized that some people, for some reason, didn't get the email. So I did make the guide available. So if you would like to receive a guide with 5 ways to prep your journal pages, you can use this QR code. If you are on Facebook, you can put hashtag insiders, I believe, and I'll be sending an email out later today with this asset because a lot of you have asked me for it. So 2 things, if you didn't receive it and you're a Roycycled Insider, you'll receive it later today. I'll be sending out an email today. If you are not a Roycycled Insider, let me know and I'll let you know how you can become an insider. You guys know I love to teach, so I send out guides. You are the first ones to see any new releases that we have. And I send out emails. I'm going to say periodically. It should be weekly, but I'm failing miserably at the weekly thing. Periodical emails, just, I don't know. I have these random thoughts. And whenever something drops into my spirit that I think would benefit you guys, I'll send out an encouraging email with that thought. Hey, Connie, how are you this morning? Good morning, Martha. Thank you. So I'm going to put you guys down so you can see what I have here. It's not doing what I would like it to do. Give me one moment. Okay, there we go. I'm a little close today. Let's scoot that up a little bit. I put it back down because last night I had to move it down. You guys, last night was so much fun. We took the new bookish molds from IOD and we started. This isn't finished yet. This is just one of those magazine holders, but we're going to make the front side of it look like bougie books. So when you slide it in your bookcase, it'll look like you have some really nice books in there. So we started that last night. We got to finish it next Sunday. But today, let's start with prep. I pulled out some little few extra supplies today because I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't want to do the same thing all the time. So last week we talked about clear gesso, and if you have a journal, you should have received an email with like a short video, and the video is also available on YouTube as well. So for today's medium, we're going to be talking about gel medium. And I have some heavy body gel here. I have my one from, look, I'm so pitiful, you guys. This is from Pint Art. And this is one of the, we gave away like a ton of these at my retreat and I still had some left over. So that's what we are using today is leftover stuff from my retreat. But the heavy body gel, did I not bring a spatula out? Is really, it's not super thick, but it's like creamy, right? It's like cold cream from back in the day. It's kind of the consistency of it, but it's a really nice consistency and you can use it for multiple things. So as far as prepping your page, let me turn this AC off because that's good. Be too noisy without a mic. Hey, Carolyn. Good morning. Good morning, Cindy. Hey, Maggie. As far as prepping your page, I want to tell you guys why I like to use soft gel. So I have this page covered with my soft gel. See how glossy it is? I did it ahead of time. And one of the reasons, some reasons I like to use it is if I'm going to be using a lot of moisture. So if I'm going to be doing something super drippy where I'm going to be misting it and adding a lot of moisture, this gel medium is going to really close those paper fibers so that my paper is not absorbing all that moisture. And that's going to help me to be able to do a finish like that without decimating my paper, right? Um, it's also really good to use as a glue. So if I wanted to glue down something that has a little bit more, like with the tissue paper, I can use, you know, a liquid medium, like like a matte medium. But if I wanted to glue down something more substantial, say I wanted to do like some faux jewelry or something a little bit heavier, the heavy body gel works really well as a glue. I like to use it also, again, I talk about isolation layers a lot, but I like to use it as an isolation layer. Sometimes when we're painting, I feel like my surface will get to a point where it doesn't want to accept anymore. And so I'll go over with like a clear gesso, and it's almost like starting with a whole new surface, which is really good, especially like if you're doing one of the paintable florals from the Roycycled Decoupage paper, one of the paintable papers. If your color seems like it's not getting darker anymore, you're using transparent colors, you can lay down an isolation layer of either the clear gesso or the heavy body gel. And then when you go into paint, you can continue to build up depth and darkness of those colors. You can also use it to seal pages or to decoupage thicker papers. So if you've taken my decoupage course, you've heard me talk about how different mediums are appropriate for different weights of paper. If you're decoupaging like something, a heavier paper, maybe you bought a pack of ephemera and those have a tendency to be almost like little cardboard pieces, the heavy body gel is going to be more appropriate, right, for tacking those down than something thinner like a matte medium. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Leave the AC on. It's hot already. I know. You know what, Rajani? It's not too bad today. If it gets warm, I'll turn it on, but it's still early. And I did have the AC on like really low, high, however you look at that, so that it could cool things down. So hopefully that maintains for the next couple of hours. Um, and then I already mentioned that it really creates a nice protective layer when you're using a ton of moisture on your page, which I don't know what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to use a ton of moisture on my page today. And then another thing that I've discovered, and we've talked about this before, and I'll probably talk about it again, but I think it's worth repeating. So inside of the Roycycled Besties membership group, we were creating with making acrylic skins. And I inadvertently made samples of what I've been talking about, but I love the fact that I can show you. So you guys have seen me make my decoupage paper more transparent, right? So if I'm using a paper with a white back and I want the white to like virtually disappear, using your heavy body gel in a gloss really does make it disappear a lot. And I want to show you guys why. So we made this skin using a matte medium, and you guys can see it's pretty transparent, right? You can see what's behind it. Let me put it up here. It's pretty transparent. You can see what's behind that flower, right? But when we used the heavy body gloss gel medium, look at that transparency. And when you compare them, that's semi-transparent, but this is like completely transparent, right? And so if you're working with your decoupage paper and you want it to be super transparent, using the heavy body gel and gloss really does maximize the transparency of your paper in a way that the matte medium just doesn't. So this is kind of a visual representation of the difference of that, right? So you have the clear gloss versus a matte medium or a matte, any kind of matte medium, because you can get heavy body and matte too. But I like using the gloss because it gives me the option of playing with transparency. And if I want it to be matte after the fact, I can go over the top with my matte medium as my final sealer so that my final project is matte. Because you guys know I don't particularly care for really glossy stuff. And this was one of our skins that we made using the heavy body gel. Really fun. And then we can just take these. I could take these and just adhere them to my pages, which I made today. I pull them out. These two I'm going to save. Those will be my examples, but these two may make it. I don't know, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So heavy body gel is a way for you to prep your pages when you are going to be using a lot of moisture, or if you're working with a product that really likes a smooth surface. So if you're working with alcohol inks, using a heavy body gel as your base will give you a much better result, because the alcohol ink, instead of absorbing into the paper, it'll continue moving around the gloss. I would put 2 layers of the heavy body gel and let it sit for a couple of hours. If I were using with alcohol inks, to really make sure that it's dried and cured. I am going to show you guys really quickly how I applied it. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Where is my towel? There it is. And we're going to apply some. I already did some on this page, so it'll be dry, because I don't want it to just be dry to the touch, right? I want it to be really set before I start adding things to it. So it is really easy. You're going to spread it on just like you would any other product. You're just going to paint it on. And you could also use a wedge or a silicone paintbrush if you wanted as well. But I'm just going to be using a brush today. Did I use a brush last week? What did I use to apply paint last week? You guys remember? Hey, Jenny, how are you? Thank you, Chris. See what I'm saying? Just super quick. If I wanted fewer brush strokes, I would use like a silicone wedge to put it on there. And you guys know that if you don't want marks, you can just use a wider wedge. When we get done talking about the different ways to prep your page, we are going to do a series on different ways to apply paint, and I will get more in depth with those things. It's different tools or different processes to apply paint to your pages. And my goal is to give you as many tools as possible, right, in your creative toolbox, so that when you imagine something, you'll have the tool for the job to bring that thing to life. Okay, that's it. Super easy, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm going to dry this really quickly just so I don't put my hand in it. But we're going to use this page because I did it earlier and I put it in my laundry room, which in my house, my laundry room is not, what's the word? My brain just drops words for no apparent reason. It is so ridiculous. Where is that circle blue? That looks weird. Is my circle blue for you guys? It's not insulated, so it's pretty warm in there. So I just set it in there, knowing that it would get fully dried in time for us to be able to work. I would have been optimum for me to do it last night, but it's okay. I think because I'm in Arizona, it's pretty good. If you live in an area that has a lot of humidity, you may want to add a few extra hours for your gel to really set up before you go in adding a ton of moisture. And you guys saw that I had a clip right here on the end of my book. I did that. I dried this section and put my clip on it so that my pages wouldn't curl. I probably could have used 2 clamps, but the paper is going to respond to moisture, right? It's just that the thicker pages does give you a lot more flexibility as far as being able to use different wet mediums. And we're going over different ways to prep your page so that you guys can maximize that. Oh, good. Thank you, Chris. It looks blue to me. My cursor must be sitting on it weird or something. And I'm just going to dry this enough so that I can touch it without getting it on my hands. But you guys can see, right? It's super shiny. But this is really closing those paper fibers. Um, so that when I go over and I'm misting water and doing drippies or something, that I don't have to worry about my paper turning to mush. And I opened my journal to this page on purpose today because I wanted to show you guys, this is the second signature. You guys see that? The signatures are actually sewn together. And then after they're sewn, they're glued into the spine. So I don't want you guys to feel like you have to be precious. I mean, you can't be like crazy with the book, but I don't want you guys to feel like you have to be precious with it because it really is assembled really well. Okay, so I have this page all prepped for today. I have no idea what the sticks are going to ask of me, but let's see what they want me to do today. Oh, Linda, thank you. I'm excited for everyone to get theirs. We shipped out like over 100 journals last week, so you guys should be starting to receive them. Okay. Oh, good. I got 3 different ones. So my underpainting says paint white. So we're going to paint white for the underpainting. Decoupage method is misting method. Did I do those last week? Maybe I just feel like, no, I didn't. Just checking. The misting method for my decoupage. Paint dark around the edges. And then for collage, mark making. So I have to make some kind of collage paper using mark making. Oh, I have some here already made. I think I'll cheat. So you guys, look. This is some wet string tissue paper. And you guys know how you can buy those little roller things? So if you're throwing out like checks or you're throwing out, maybe you're throwing out magazines and they have a little sticker with your name and address and you don't, or you're donating those, don't throw those out. And you don't want people to be able to see your name and address, you can buy these little confidential rollers. And that's all I did on this paper was I just rolled over with a confidential roller. And so now I have this piece of collage paper. So I'm going to count that, especially for time's sake, that this is going to be some collage with mark making. I probably have some other down here too that I could use. Let me see. We did a whole, we've actually done the gel plate inside of my membership twice now. But I don't have any specifically. When I think of mark making, it really is like any kind of mark that you can make. These are some color. I don't want to be married to a color just yet though. So I will be collaging. We'll see. I will. Oh, you know, I have bubble wrap. I'll use my bubble wrap for my mark making. And I want to show you guys something. You guys know how I love my silicone mat. I actually, one of my members, Melissa, put me onto this brown mat right here, which is nice when I'm doing videos because for some reason the cameras have a trouble focusing whenever you have white. So I love my brown mat, but I did cut a piece of my mat to put in between my pages. So when I'm working, if something goes off the side, I don't have to worry about my pages gluing together. So you don't have to use silicone mat. You could actually use a piece of wax paper or a piece of parchment paper or even just tissue paper and just slide it in between your pages in order for, you know, if you get something on the edge, it's not sticking to the page behind it. But I like to use things that I can use over and over again and I'm not having to throw away. So I went ahead and cut a piece of my silicone mat and that way I can use it over and over again. So what shall we start with here? What do we want to do? Let's start with the underpainting and then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. So I have clear gesso. Do I have white gesso? I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm going to be using a brayer to apply my underpainting today. And I'm going to be using some white gesso. Let me get my little palette. Look, I even have a piece of the silicone that I'm going to be using for my palette today. And I like it because I can just wash it off and use it again. Look, I'm bad. This is from last night, so I'm gonna flip it over and use the back side today. It looks like I use it for something else, but it's all good. It's good. Can you explain mark making? Oh my gosh, Jenny, it's so if you were to ask like a traditional mixed media artist, they're going to talk about making a mark and then like making it over and over again. So you'll see artists that'll do things like they'll make like a check mark and they'll do it over and over again until they make a pattern. And it can be any kind of a mark, a dot, a check mark, you know, a paintbrush stroke, anything like that. That is what I think people think of like for traditional mark making. To me, any mark that I make on this page is mark making. And it really is about you finding your own creative language. And a lot of us already do things over and over again. We just don't think about it. It's just something that we do. And so, maybe you always use the back of your brush and put it in paint and you make dots on everything. Maybe at the end of each project, you go over and you splatter and you put splatter marks on your project. Maybe you like grunge making, right? And so you guys will notice that I'm usually going around and I'm adding grunge to the edge of my paper. Like I'm making marks on my page, right? I'm putting down product and I'm making shapes. So anything that you do to your paper, you're putting down a mark. Even if you're using a stencil, you're putting down marks. But there is a traditional sense of what mark making is. The stencil that I made for my retreat last year had some specific kind of patterns and shapes on it, which would be considered mark making, like by a traditional mixed media artists. But we're going to play with that a little bit today, and you guys will get to see, because I'm going to use my bubble wrap to make some marks on mine, because I think it's fun. For today, I have been told by my sticks that I need to do my underpainting. I don't think that I want to get rid of all of my yumminess on the back. So I'm just going to distort it a little bit. I just want to create some visual space in the middle. And so I'm going to use my brayer. And I like using the brayer for this is because it's going to put down broken marks. So I'm going to use this to make marks, right, on my paper. But I want them to be broken so that I'm not completely getting rid of what's behind, but I am pushing it back a little bit, right? And I could also do this by going over my page with a transparent white, so that visually you can still see what's behind it. You can still see everything, right? But I'm just pushing it back some so that whatever we put on the top isn't competing with the background. And I think that is good. Let's put a little bit up top here because I don't know exactly what I'm going to use. I've stopped trying to, I used to, when we first started doing this, I would like have like a general idea and then come thinking that it would help me be prepared, but it doesn't. So I stopped doing that. So I literally have no clue what we're going to do when I come. So that's that. And I'm going to show you guys up close. You can still very much see what's underneath, right? But I've just created some kind of a visual space or room for me to be able to put something else. Yeah, random scribbling works. Chris is stating that random scribbling works as mark making. You can pretend like you're writing like in cursive. I love that. I don't know why. I do that a lot on my stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed the painting, which is still very much in process, by the way, that I've been sharing on Royce Hunt Art on Instagram. And it automatically shares to my personal page. You'll see some of that kind of fake scribbling on the bottom. Although when I'm doing it, we may do a little bit of that today. When I'm doing that, I am still writing with intention. I'm just not writing in a way that somebody else can hear. So normally if you see, what is it? It's called asymmetric writing. Normally, if you see me and I put like cursive down somewhere, I have an intention. It's probably a prayer, right? That I've said in my mind, but I'm just not writing it in a way that's legible. I'm going to do that right now since you brought that up, Chris. I don't have my acrylic markers out here though. Let me see. Maybe this one will work. Or maybe it will not. The gel medium is not really nice to regular markers, and I think it's because it's so slick. So if I'm going to write on it, I really do like having acrylic markers to be able to do that. And that is the one thing that I did not bring out. Although I bet you this thick marker will work. So I'm just going to put here. I have set up a series of inspirational prompts for you guys. And I was hoping to send one out today, but I didn't get it sent out. So my permission that I'm writing for myself today, even though it won't be legible, I'm going to say, I have permission to begin again, even if it means I won't be good at something when I begin. Creating imperfectly requires courage. Okay, so I just did that. You guys can see it doesn't, you can't read that, right? But my intention is still there. That's, I really do believe that. And so that can be mark making, and that'll be something that'll probably peek through. I'm going to go over some of it with my gel medium just so it's peeking through. I mean, not with my gel medium. This is the white gesso. Just so it's kind of peeking through there and it's not like super loud. And so we did the white underpainting. So that one is done. Yes, girl. I'm live. I'm crazy. I'm trying to stay for my vertical peeps. I'm trying to stay in frame. You guys remind me if I pop out of frame. So paint dark edges. That's one of them. That'll probably be the last thing I do because that's something that I love to do anyways. Misting method and mark making for collage. So this leaves it really open. It's almost stressing me out a little bit because I have tons of options, right? What do I do? What do I do? I want to do so I want to do something that's going to require me to do a lot of like misting and drippies on here because we're using the heavy body gel, and I want to demonstrate, you know, how it really does support that kind of creativity. So I know that I want to do something drippy. I just got to figure out, I have this roll off page. Let me see if I have any tissue paper. So whenever I'm working with my gel plate, often these roll-off sheets are my favorites to work with. They're grungy. One is actually kind of better, right? And you can see where I literally just rolled off to clean my brayer. I actually think I pulled this one off the plate. So this one has a little bit more texture. I want to do something grungy today. I just got to figure out exactly what I want to do. So give me a second so I can come up with a plan or a semblance of a plan anyways. And I have my Roycycled. Look at you guys. I'm so bad to my stencils. Numbered stencil. But you guys know that I like to pair like my grungy stuff with something pretty. So let me just pull out some supplies and then I'll let my mind kind of wander a little bit and we will come up with something. I'm eyeballing this stencil for some reason. Will Apothecary fit on here? Oh, I think it will. Barely, but enough for you to know what it says. When I created this journal, I really did want it to be a size that would allow you to play with like home decor ideas. And so I might come back to that one. I don't know. I am seeing a paper though that I want to work with. Sometimes I can have too many papers. And the struggle I'm having right now is that aside from the sticks, I wanted to demonstrate different things. Like I wanted to demonstrate the clarity that you can get with the heavy body gel when you're using it. So this is in papers. This is one of my Roycycled Decoupage papers. And I'm thinking, I don't know why, I'm feeling like I want to stay neutral today. That's a little, this is nice. I'll play with scale. This is really scaled larger than what you would normally use on a project this size, right? But I kind of like the idea of playing with scale. So I'll use that one. And then I still need like a subject. This is a piece from the Roycycled Photography Masterboard paper. You guys will notice that none of my women look like they're scared or weak. You can write backwards, Chris? Oh no, girl. I can read backwards. Should I use my doggy? He's my favorite. Like, I don't know why. I just love this dog so much. But I think I don't know why, but she's like yelling out to me, pick me, pick me. And I'm being a little crazy. I'm just tearing out what I need because I know that it's already 10:40. How does that happen? There are things in our lives that are supposed to be constant, like time. Time does not feel like a constant to me. It feels like it's relative. And I want some color blocks, but those color blocks on that paper all have jobs. So I'm going to see if I can steal one from, this is the scrappy Masterboard decoupage paper. Maybe I'll use something from here. This would be fun. Okay, I'm going to put this one right here. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see what happens because I'm kind of free to do whatever because all I have left to do is use dark edges, which that's going to be easy for me. And collage with mark making collage and use the missing methods for decoupage. So basically I can just do whatever I want at this point. I wish I had some on some. Well, you know what? Let's do some mark making. We'll do some mark making on some tissue paper if I have some here. And that will fulfill one of my requirements. The challenge is going to be finding some tissue paper. Oh, look, that's a coffee filter. Once I start making like gel plate pulls, you guys, I get a little carried away. And so I may not have any blank paper out here. Ah, I found some. All we need is one piece, right? And I think I do want some grunge. So I am going to just use some black paint and my brayer, and I'm going to make some yumminess. Do I want to use black paint? And I looked at that black paint and I did not. Oh, I did. So this is just like paint. It's just a fluid acrylic. So, you know, you have your heavy body paints, which are kind of like the heavy body gel, right? They're like creamy and heavy. And then your fluid acrylics, they have the same pigments. They're just fluid. So it's liquid. So I'm going to close this for a second because I don't want to take a chance of getting black all over my page. And I'm going to set this aside and we can make us, so I'm going to do some mark making and I'm going to use, oh man, I have these really cool brayers that are narrow, but I think they're all in my studio. I think I need to buy 2 of each supply. So I can have one out here and one in there. What do you guys think? That sounds like a reason to go shopping for new supplies. So I'm just gonna put a little fluid acrylic on my mat, which there's something under there, but it's actually kind of working because I'm having like this really, you know, it's not consistent. You guys notice I'm not covering my whole thing and covering it really heavy because I don't want to cover the whole tissue. I just want to make marks on my tissue. So mark making is super broad. It's literally anything that you can do that's going to make a mark. And so I want something grungy. And I may even go into my white gesso a little bit. We'll get a little bit of gray on here too. And when I do this, I'm going to show you guys something super quick. If I roll right over those dots, I'm just going to get 3 dots on my brayer. So I don't want to do that. I want to, like, you know, get something really, como se dice, random filling so that I can get, this is going to be heavier than my other marks. So let's put them down here. So right now I'm using my brayer to make marks on my paper, but I could just as well use, see what I mean? I picked up those dots. Let's clean this brayer off all the way. I could just as easily use a paintbrush to make marks on my paper, right? And maybe we'll do something repetitive. I don't know. I'll make some eyelashes. My paper is winking at you guys. Like on the old Bugs Bunny commercials when the eyelashes are calling the bunny over with the, you know, like that. And if you are someone who is working on like your painting, like being able to paint figuratively, like being able to paint stuff, and you struggle with like your brush work, mark making is like really nice practice. And then when you get done, you have collage paper to use. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. So I've gotten my mark making done. This is what I wanted, was some nice grungy marks to put on our paper. And I'm going to show you guys what happens when I use the tissue paper in conjunction with the heavy body gel. Like how I can push the white of this paper almost just completely away. It's fabulous. Yeah, Linda, I'm just using some fluid acrylics. And this color is carbon black. My hobby is buying supplies. Girl, don't get me started, and don't get my husband started. But I was standing in my studio the other day, And I was thinking to myself, how blessed am I to have all these supplies to play with, right? Because if I had to go out and buy those supplies in order to start like my like classical art journey, I don't know if I would have started because I would have been starting from scratch and it would have felt really expensive. But because I purchased so many supplies over the years, I was kind of ready. Yes, I do have. I actually pulled out, Chris, some of those things. I'm going to show you guys some things I brought out today because I knew I wanted to work with like a lot of like liquidy stuff. I did bring out some inks. This is an acrylic ink. They're both acrylic inks. They're just different brands. So I did bring out, I want to say this one is burnt sienna. And then, of course, you guys know I have to have my turquoise teal color because it's my fave. I brought out some orange. I think orange and teal, I don't know. I'm just loving orange and teal right now. I'm going through a phase. I brought out this photo acrylic. It's red oxide. So it's kind of like rust, right? But I did bring out more of the kind of my liquidy products today because I knew that I wanted to be able to show like when you use the gel medium to prep your page. So I brought out supplies that are a little bit different than what we normally have. And so, yes, we will be doing some grungy stuff today. And I even have, this is acrylic ink and it's copper. I don't know what I'm using, but I brought them out. And I'm wondering if, well, no, because I want to show you guys on the page. So that's dry and this is ready to go. So let's get some grunge collage down on the page. And then we'll circle back to our other stuff. I'm kind of running out of room, y'all. So I'm going to put these pages over here and let's work on our backgrounds. And I'm just going to tear it. I don't want it to be like in blocks. You know what I mean? Although that's kind of nice like that. And I am tearing all of my edges so that if I do end up with the edge on my page, it'll be organic. I don't want to have like a straight edge anywhere. And you guys will notice that you're probably like, I always do this, and I do. If I do something on one side, I am going to try and balance out on the other side. I feel like I did my asymmetric writing on the bottom here, and there's more showing here that's darker and lighter over here. So I feel like I'm going to put this on this side and then put that other grunge mark. As a matter of fact, we'll put it this way. We won't even put it going down. We'll put one going this way and then that one going that way. And I am just going to decoupage or collage, depending on who you're talking to, these marks that I've made on my decoupage paper. So I did my second stick, which is collage with mark making, right? And I'm going to use the heavy body gel. So one of the things that I'm going to do to maximize the transparency of my paper is I'm going to mist it first. The only brush I have left is my purposely janky brush. You guys see that? I like cut them so that I can make different marks, right? And not have a smooth edge, but it'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. I'm going to mist this. I'm not going to wet it like a lot, but I am going to mist it evenly. Meaning, you know how sometimes you mist your paper and there'll be like white marks where the paper isn't as wet in some places as it is in others. I want it to be equally wet all over. So I'm going to mist the whole thing. And I'm going to be using, today I'm using PinterArt's Heavy Body Gel. And I am going to just apply that just like I would any other decoupage medium, right? Right where I want to collage my paper. And I'm going to go right over the top right away. I'm not going to let the paper dry first. I'm going to go right over the top right away. And I'm going to apply some more gel medium. And that is how I maximize the transparency of this paper. And I'm going to tell you that you literally are not going to even be able to tell that there's paper there. It's crazy how transparent it gets. So I did that one. Let's do this one, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like wet, and then we'll dry it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like dry. And going right over the product right away is an important step, you guys. So I'm misting it, putting the product down, right? Collaging it to the page, and then I'm going right over the top while it's still wet with another coat of the medium. And this is gel medium that I'm using, and this is gloss. So I'm using heavy body gel in gloss to collage these pages down. And I know that I have some people who came on later, so I do want to have the discussion while this is drying. I want to talk to you guys again about why this makes such a big difference. If I were to use a matte medium to decoupage, then this is what the matte medium looks like. It looks pretty transparent, right? But look at how much more transparent the glossy gel is than the matte medium. Where's my little tag that I used earlier? It's hard to see on my hand. We'll use her. Actually, I thought it's going to be the same everywhere. So you can see that this is the matte medium and this is the gloss. And you can see how much more transparent it is, right? So anytime that you use anything that's like matte or even if it's like an eggshell, they're going to put particulates in it so that the light doesn't bounce off of it as readily. And those is what is, it can make things a little bit cloudy. And we wouldn't recognize it ordinarily, but because we're really wanting to maximize the transparency is why I'm really pointing out the difference here, because you can see how much more transparent the gel is, right, than the matte. And I'm using a gloss gel. That's important. It's the gloss is why it's completely transparent, because it doesn't have any mattifiers. So you guys see that? You cannot see the background of that paper at all. All you see are the dark marks that we made on the paper. And so that's what the heavy body gel and gloss can do for you creatively. So yes, this is the paper that I just used to make my marks on. I just rolled my brayer on there, right? And I made some grungy marks on my paper. And then now we're collaging it onto the page. And if you're someone who sometimes when you get to the middle of a project, you might start feeling afraid to move forward, right? There's that fear that you're going to ruin it. And so you find yourself, maybe you're how do you say, you're paralyzed to move forward. One of the things that you can do to cheat is to create on top of tissue paper, because then I can take the paper and I can audition it, right? I can just decide if I put this mark on this paper and I don't know if I want to add it or if it's going to look right, I can kind of audition it on there. I can put it and be like, yeah, well, maybe there, or maybe I can put it over here, right? You can audition it and figure out exactly what you want to do. And sometimes I can give you confidence to move forward if you can kind of get an idea of how something is going to look. And I'm talking about mark making specifically, but maybe you're thinking about stamping a word on your project and you're not sure how it's going to look. Just stamp some tissue and see how it looks. So even dry, you guys see that how transparent that is? It's crazy town. Look at that. And so that was a wet string tissue paper, I believe. I don't have it marked. It was either, that's wet string because it's kind of shiny. So that's wet string tissue paper that I just used. And look at that. You cannot even tell. All you see is the grunginess. You don't see the paper that was underneath. And so using your heavy body gel in conjunction with your tissue paper really does enable you to make it as transparent as possible. And I got a little piece here that I didn't glue down, so I'm just going to tear that off. Okay. I still don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I can fussy cut her out. Let's fussy cut her out. And I'm going to cut her out because I don't mind that my edges are going to look sharp for this. Sometimes if I'm trying to blend something in and make it less noticeable, I will either use a wet paintbrush to cut something out. But I think having her be graphic on there, have like graphic edges would be nice. Because everything else is kind of grungy and organic. So having something on there as a juxtaposition is nice. And again, I had plans. I don't know how this is going to work out, you guys. We're going to see. We shall see. Can you guys tell I love labels? Somebody asked me recently to explain my aesthetic. I think I'm going to leave that bottom piece. I don't know why. It's talking to me. And we'll make this organic to match. Okay. So if we put her here, what are my sticks? Dark edges, that's a given, and misting method. So I'll use a misting method on her, and I will have used all of my, let's do some, before I put her on, let's do some drippiness. So I wanted to be able to demonstrate how sealing your pages with the heavy body gel medium gives you like a lot of room to add a lot more moisture to your pages by actually adding a lot of moisture to my page today. So I think the red oxide might be a little bit too rich. I wish I had. Grab some raw umber. Did I? Burnt umber. This is burnt umber. We'll do that. Burnt umber is not as red as the burnt sienna. So I'm going to mist my page with water. A lot of water. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my ink to be able to move freely across the page. And I think I'm going to start my drip like right underneath my grunge right there. So I'm just going to put my ink like right here. I think that'll be cool. Look, it's already running. And then I'm going to just turn it up like this, and it's going to run. And I can go in and mist it to encourage it to run a little bit more. And so I really like, so you can use paint to make drips. You just have to like water your paint down a little bit so to like break the viscosity of the paint. I do feel like when you do that though, sometimes you can kind of water down the pigments. And the cool thing about using the inks and or the fluid acrylics is that you're still going to have, even though it's drippy and it's in the water, I'm still going to get that really nice, strong pigment. You guys know how sometimes when you water down your paint and you make it drip, the color just isn't as strong. Oh yeah, I did use the misting method on my paper. Actually, it's my favorite decoupage method. So I was probably going to do that anyways, but when I made the game, I had you guys in mind. And so whenever I teach a class, I always make a game. And so I just kind of took all of my prompts from the different games and put them into one game for the mixed media mashup. But you guys see how my page really isn't, I mean, it was already like this, right? So the page isn't responding to the additional moisture at all. And it's because I've sealed it. The gel medium really does close all those paper fibers so that they're not absorbing all the extra moisture that I'm putting on the page. And actually, she has this label on here. So I was looking at her thinking that she might be too cool compared to that. But we do have this label here that's warm. That'll help bridge the gap. So I'm going to go in with one more color over the top of this one. And when I'm doing my drips, if I get something, a drip, and it looks just the way I want it, I'm going to like freeze it by drying it before I go in and add other drips. If you keep going, it'll keep moving, right? And you lose it. But if I get something and it's just the way I want, then I will dry it really quickly so that it stays right there. So I'm going to show you guys something really quickly. If I want these drips to be super specific and to go in a certain direction, rather than misting the whole page, I will like draw some water lines here. I'm going to draw some water here because your product is going to go down the path of least resistance. And so you can create that on purpose. Like you can leave it up to chance, but you don't have to. You can like make it yourself. So I've made some specific paths for my ink to follow. And now I'm going to go over the top of this page, ink, and it's going to go down the path of least resistance. So it has a lot of options. Oh, my place is dried up already. Where is my brush? I still can do it though. So I'm going to like put some water here and then make a path for that so it can go right there. So you can, I mean, you want it to be like random, but you can also kind of control it. You can kind of get both. And then I don't like that looking like that though. That looks super contrived. So we're gonna like sully that up a little bit. And then I'm going to freeze it just like that. So all I have to do is dry it, and then that's gonna freeze that pigment right there. Old scraggly grapevines. You never know what you're gonna get, right? When you start playing. Oh, good, Jenny. Oh, Chris was asking me, was that deli paper? No, Chris, I did not use deli paper. I used wet string tissue paper to make my marks on. The deli paper with the misting method, it takes a long time because it is like, it has some kind of, I don't know if they press the paper fibers so that they're closer together and they respond later to the moisture, or if there's actually a coating on there. But when you miss the deli paper, you have to wait a few minutes for it to respond to the moisture. And I was too impatient for that. So I opted for the wet string tissue paper. That's super yummy, right? I feel like I need to put, where did I have a little fan brush here. My favorite splatters to make are with my favorite tool to make splats are my fan brush. So I'm going to take that and just make some splatters on there. I should do some white splatters too. I'm going to have to water that down though. Although I have some white ink, but it's okay. Okay, so let's dry this and then we will put our on there, and I think I'm going to use some transfers. I should use one of the new transfers, but I'm probably going to use my old favorite one just because I like it a lot. And I want to show you guys something really quickly too. This is why I love this journal so much, and this is why I made it, because we've done a lot, right? We've put down some white paint, we put down some drips, we put down some marks, and look, you can still see what's underneath. Like, creating layers is the magic. I meant to bring it out today. We'll talk about layers more next week. I do have I like giving visual examples of things because I feel like a lot of our minds works like mine. Like, someone can say something to you, but when you see it for yourself is when it really, it like clicks with you, right? And so I do have like a visual example of the power of layers. And so I will try to remember to bring that next week. Okay, so I'm going to collage my lady right here. And I think I want the background to show through. So we're just going to leave it. Maybe I'm going to paint her face white. Just so she doesn't have like a drip or something on her face. But we can do it. I'm holding it up to the light so I can see. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm holding my paper up so the light can filter through the paper so I can see the other side. And I am just doing a completely imperfect painting of anywhere where she has skin showing so that our drippies and stuff don't show through. And so once I have it laid down, now I can go through and make sure that I have good coverage. And I'm going to dry that really quickly. So like when we talk about transparent versus opaque, like you don't have to just paint the whole paper, right? You can just paint the areas where you don't want your bottom layer to show through. Okay, so we are going to, and I'm actually going to use matte medium, right? Rather than using this gel medium because I don't want this to be super transparent. And because I am decoupaging this on here, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm running out of brushes over here, y'all. I don't even know how that happens. I have this one. It's small, but it'll work. You should see my jar. I have 5011 brushes over there, but I don't want to use a wet brush for this. So let's get her collaged on here. And I'm just going to use the matte medium. I could have also used my Pen Art Decoupage Varnish and Glue, and it's matte. I could have used that too. And you can use whatever you have on your table. So if you have something that's matte or satin, you can use that. And so I'm going to go over whenever I am decoupaging like a medallion. That's what I call these, right? It's a cutout. I don't want to only put my decoupage medium over my medallion. I want to make sure and cover the entire surface of my project because sheen is a way that you can kind of detect when something is decoupaged on. And so I want the sheen of my medallion to be the same as the rest of my project. And I didn't miss her, so I'm getting some response from my paper. I was moving too fast, so I'll just take my time and let the paper respond before I move on to the next section. So I can kind of massage those wrinkles out. Now I'm going to go over the entire surface with my matte medium so that it's the same sheen as the paper that I just put on here, because otherwise it's going to look like I just stuck her on here. I may have gotten a little carried away. Just a wee bit. Do I want to collage some pattern on here? I asked myself that earlier. I feel like I want this bingo card. Although I should have put it behind her. Can I do it without tearing it, you think? Let's see. Ah! Sorry. I don't know why, but I want this to be behind her and not just on there. And you guys notice how I'm like picking this paper up? I mean, this is dangerous business. This is risky business. I'm not going to encourage you to just do this willy-nilly, but if you were using napkins, you would not even have the option, right, of doing that. You would have just been stuck with your original idea, because there's no way in Hades that you would be able to pull up that napkin and reposition it like that. And I'm being all kinds of willy-nilly over here. And I know normally when I teach, I'm like super cautious and really careful. And literally it's really because I want you guys to be successful. Not that you always have to be super like careful. Once you know what you're doing, you will find that you will be willy-nilly too. But I always teach you guys to be cautious and careful and move slowly, because I want you to have success early on. Oh yeah, that's better, right? That gives her more weight. She was kind of floating over there like a little floating head. Okay. This little straight edge right here is bothering me. So let's like tear that a little bit. I don't want to lose that grunge though. I like it. I guess I got a straight edge over there too. But I don't like it. You know what I should use? I have a little wire brush thing from the kit that I have from Pottery. That would have been nice to use for this too. And I'm just literally tearing that just so that edge isn't like straight and perfect. That was faster. This wasn't what I was looking for, but it will work. Okay. So that way my edges aren't like super straight, right? They're kind of raggedy. I like it like that. So I'm going to dry this, and I hope, look, there's probably a portion. I didn't make sure I had really good coverage of medium on the paper underneath. So hopefully I'll end up with any bubbles. We shall see. I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then we'll add, I think we'll add a piece of a transfer. I used to tell teachers, draw me a picture, right, Regina? I am so visual. Like, honestly, if you can give me a visual representation. I remember I did get a C in college algebra, just as a side note. I did get a C, but I was very happy with that C. But I remember I was struggling so much with college algebra, and I had to move my schedule around to make room for volleyball practice. for volleyball practice. But it was very fortuitous because I ended up in this college professor's class who understood the need for visual representation. So I remember I was having the hardest time with functions. Like I just couldn't, my mind just wouldn't wrap, I couldn't wrap my mind around them. And he like would draw he would draw the project like horizontally like this. And he would talk about it being a machine and how you would drop the numbers in here and they would do this and then they would do this and they would do this and then they would come out the other side of the machine like this. And like just having that physical representation of what was happening is what made it click for me. Like, I don't know. So yeah, very visual over here. Love the page. Gotta go change a diaper. Oh, I would say have fun, but girl, it is fun though. Fat little feet. Megan, oh, your journals arrived today. Good, Megan. I'm gonna send you a message about the journals when you count them, okay? I was trying to, I'll send you a message. So I think that she is dry enough. So you guys see how the heavy body gel protected my page. And even though I misted it with water and I used fluid acrylics, I used acrylic inks and fluid acrylics on it, like my paper is still in good shape, right? It didn't like deteriorate and just melt. If I would have tried to do all that on top of the paper without it, I may have run into problems. So if you're going to be doing a lot of moisture and adding a lot of drips and stuff, make sure that you seal your page using the heavy body gel because that's going to give you the freedom to do that. And now you see, I use the matte medium over the top. And so you can see this page is shiny, right? From the heavy body gel we applied earlier, but this page is matte. And it's because we went over the top with a matte medium. So you can get the protection of the heavy body gel and gloss, but still have your final finish be whatever you desire for your final finish. I am going to go around real quick with some charcoal because I want to pull some things out. I feel like I need to pull her out a little bit. I want her to be the star. So I'm going to go around and add some grunginess. Oh, look, I'm darkening my edges. So that's my other stick, right? Was darkening my edges. And I am going to take a little bit of clear gesso and put it over here on my little palette. And I'm going to put a little bit of clear gesso on my finger and put it in that charcoal so that it stays put. And I'm using gesso because I really want my charcoal to maintain that same kind of super matte vibe. And the gesso is kind of gritty, just like the charcoal is. So. But you can use anything. If you have like, you know, some water-based sealer that you have on your table, decoupage glue. The whole point is just to set the charcoal so it doesn't move around. And you could also use, PinArt has a misting sealer. You could use that too. And that would set your charcoal in place without you having to worry about like aerosol. Oh, see how that makes her pop? Putting that grungy around the edge. It just makes her pop from the background a little bit more. Should I keep going on my tag? I think so. Okay. And I do have a bit of transfer. I thought I had a bit of transfer right here. My shoulder is killing me today. The grandbaby, he's so funny. So he's prickly. You guys, you know, he's prickly, right? Like, but when he wants to, like, touch you, then he's like right under you. So he was like, I fell asleep on the couch yesterday and he was right under me. And I think my arm was under him when I fell asleep. And so my shoulder is kind of jacked today because it was twisted weird doing my little nap. I'm going to pull out my favorite transfer. You guys probably already know which one it is. I love this transfer so much. Although, you know what? Let me look. Because there's a new transfer from IOD that has a lot of sprigs. And I was looking at that. It's this one. It's like super spriggy, right? It's floral, but it has a lot of just, hold on. So let's look and see if there's a sprig in here that we like. Hey, Cheryl, did applying the matte medium over the page change the transparency of the mark baking paper? No. So Cheryl, what happens is once you apply the paper, you can't really see it now. You see it a little bit peeking out. Once you apply the paper with the gloss gel, the paper is going to stay, it's going to stay transparent, right? You can still put something over the top of it and it's going to change everything equally. So it's not going to be noticeable. I hope that makes sense. So once it dries, then it's good. It's going to stay that way. Usually, like I said earlier, you wouldn't even notice the difference in the transparencies. It's just because we're really pushing the transparency. We want to maximize it. The matte medium or the matte gesso is still transparent. It's just not as transparent as the heavy body gel in gloss. And look at this, right? I went over this whole thing. You can still see her. You can still see the grunge paper. It's still just as transparent as before. So your matte medium is still very transparent. It's just not as transparent as the clear body gel. So, which I can't find my little flowers now. Oh man. Okay. I think this isn't the same ones, but it's okay. So the matte medium is still transparent, right? You can still see through it. It's just that when you look at it in comparison to the gloss gel, the gloss gel is just so much more transparent. So this is still transparent. It's still gonna let your stuff shine through. It's just, I think it just matters more when you're trying to push that paper all the way back. I hope that answers your question. I know the Lost Garden transfer is my favorite. I do love it, but I'm going to try something new. YouTube, you know what? I noticed I wasn't getting comments from YouTube. That is weird. And I hate that it does that because they're live comments. So I'll look after it gets finished processing the video. I may be able to go back and look at the live videos. I'm just looking to see if there's any sprigs in here. I feel like this still doesn't feel like this piece. My piece is not this happy. This is a beautiful transfer, but I don't know that it has the vibe that I need for this piece. Or maybe I'm just talking myself into going back to the Lost Garden. I love this transfer so much. IOD never retire this transfer ever, okay? So I'm going to find a piece. And I think the Lost Garden, I love it because it's still beautiful, but it's like muted, right? The colors feel very vintagey. And let's see, what do we need? We're pretty balanced because we have our warmth everywhere. There's some green in here. Maybe we can add some green on this side. That might be nice. Let's do this one. I made myself some tea and I haven't even touched it since I sat down. I've been having way too much fun. It's 11:26. Making sure I'm on schedule here. What time did I start? Oh, I'm actually ahead of schedule. Woohoo! Let's see how that's gonna look. I think that's gonna be good. this right here is, I can't get it all the way up, you know, butted against that seam the way I want it. So I'm going to trim that. And if you are someone who does a lot of art journaling and you're probably looking at me going, what is she doing? I know I do not follow the rules. And if you had any question on YouTube, and I didn't answer, I guess they weren't showing. So let me know if you had any questions that I haven't answered. I may have to start using a second device maybe. Because it did the same thing last night, but it wasn't showing the YouTube comments, which is weird. I probably could have taken that little random branch that goes to nowhere off, but maybe we can put something on there. And I may not be able to remove this. You guys have heard me say this before, but if you start putting a transfer down, especially over like decoupage paper, and it's like picking your decoupage paper up, just leave it. Because what's happened is there's moisture in there, and so it's not picking up. But if you walk away and let everything dry, when you come back, you'll be able to finish applying your transfer. And I always pick up my transfers slowly, because if there is like a little piece that doesn't apply, you can just lay it back down and rub it, and then it will. And I think that I'm going to go out on a limb and say, because we used the gloss gel on our page today, that a lot of the moisture wasn't absorbed into the paper, right? Like everything is kind of sitting on top of the gloss gel as opposed to being absorbed by the paper. And so I think that's why I'm able to apply this transfer. Because you guys know most projects, I would not be able to apply the transfer right now. I love this transfer, but it is a little fiddly. And there's a ton of moisture. I'm just surprised that this transfer is even going down, because I can see the moisture coming through the plastic when I press down. So the fact that it's even laying down is quite a miracle. There's just too much moisture right there. It's just not going to do it. And so when I did my writing on the bottom of my page, if you guys were here in the beginning, you guys heard me talk about having permission to begin again, right? And so often I hear ladies our age who will say that they're not good at something, or that they can't do something. But really, anything that you can't do, I'm going to ask you to put a qualifier on the end, and that is yet, right? I can't do that yet, because you probably just haven't learned how to do it yet. And just because we're older doesn't mean that we should know everything. We have to learn just like we did the first time. So if you are learning something new and you're not good at it right away, give yourself grace to learn something new. And usually if you're learning something brand new, it means that you're going to have to give yourself permission to be bad at it for a little bit, right? And I say bad, but I don't mean bad. You guys know what I'm saying. So that's my page for today. I think if I keep going, I'm gonna pass my exit. And it's not gonna be good. Hi, Rachel. Welcome. There are no rules. No, there are no rules, Connie. There are no rules. Usually if I give you guys a rule, it's just around functionality, right? Not like as far as design rules. You do you, boo. You do what you want to do. But if I give you rules about like make sure you do this first, it's usually because I want you to be successful, right? I don't want your products to act weird or something. Another question or another thing, I'm going to go ahead and seal this one more time. Another thing that I've talked about just recently with somebody is how to deal with your pages. So if I close these two pages right away, I would run the risk of them sticking together, and I don't want to do that. So if I were like not finished with this, I could put a piece of tissue in between these two pages so that they don't stick together, right? So I could just slide a piece of tissue in there and then close it, and I wouldn't have to worry about the acrylic on either side, you know, sticking to each other. But I'm essentially done with this. So we are going to wax this really quickly. I'm going to seal this and we're going to dry it. I want to seal everything behind a good layer. And I am using a matte medium to seal because I don't want my stuff to be glossy. So even though I started with the gloss to take advantage of that transparency and to close the layers or the fibers of my paper really well, I don't have to, you know, have a gloss as my final finish. So whether you like satin or gloss or matte, you can use that for your final coat in order to get that finish. And I just like having everything under one coat of sealer because it just makes everything have the same sheen and it goes together well. And then I'm going to go over this with some wax to make sure that this page, which does have gloss gel on it, doesn't stick to my page. Thank you, Connie. It's what keeps you young at 72. Leslie, you are not 72. Get out of here. Thank you so much, Chris. Yes, let me highlight your comment. My besties do such a good job. Royce is live for Mad Scientist Monday, every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you'd like to join me, I pull out random prompts and then I have to make something happen. So I literally don't know what I'm going to do until I'm here with you guys. The game is available for you guys to play. You can play along with me. If you don't have a game but you want to play, you can just use the same prompts I used today and you can work in your journal. But it's a way to push us outside of our comfort zone and to maybe push us to do something that we wouldn't ordinarily do, right, in our process. And I always say, and if you've been with me, you've heard it 50 million times, but where experimentation goes, creativity follows, right? We want to experiment. What would happen if? What would happen if? And a lot of times when I'm working, someone will ask me a question, what if you did A or what if you did B? And my question is like, yes, like do that and see what happens. And if I don't have time to do it on my live, then you do it and then come back and let me know what happened. And then we'll all know together. Turned 72 on the, oh wow, just before the retreat. Hey, Jenny. And so that's our page for today. I never have time to do a whole spread, but that's our page today. I want to be finished, but let me just look at my phone is trying to talk to me. I want to be finished, but I'm not because this right here is bugging me. So I'm just going to take my brayer and just kind of break that up just a little bit. I don't want to get rid of it, right? This is one of the reasons it just looks too uniform. And so I just want to break that up a little bit. And so it's still there, right? I just like, I don't know. It's looking a little too contrived, which it was, right? Because I did that. It's my fault. We'll hide that one a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to dry that, and then we're going to go over the whole thing with wax, and then we will be done for the day. And I could write, I have room, I could write myself a note. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I was going to try and send an email. Oh, I think I knew that, Leslie, right? I didn't know it was your 72nd birthday. I want to talk to you guys about something that I've created, and I created it last year. I was going to do this thing where I did a video every day, and I would send a prompt, and you guys would have it, and it never came to fruition, primarily because I didn't have time to make all the videos. However, God is so good. Here I am, right? And I'm making a commitment to meet with you guys every Monday for us to work at Mad Scientist Mondays. And so I would like to send you guys a prompt for you guys to have ahead of time to use on Mad Scientist Monday. So on Sundays, I'm going to send an email out. So if you're a Roycycled Insider, you'll get the email. If you purchased a journal, you should get the email. If you purchased a journal and you gave me your email and you gave me permission to email you, I'll say that, then you should get the email. And it's going to be a prompt, and it's going to be something that is encouraging. For those of you who follow me, you've seen my permission slips that I post periodically. It'll be a lot like those. And so it'll be an encouraging word from me for you guys to contemplate on. You can write them on your journal spread if you want, but you don't have to, right? That's completely up to you if you want to include them in that way. But it's just something for you to ponder and to think about while you're working in your journal. So if you are a Roycycled Insider, be sure to look out for those. They'll come out on Sundays. That way you guys will have them on Monday when we come to work together. I don't like to put stuff on people's faces. I'm weird like that. Oh yeah, I did want to point out, you guys see how opaque her face is, right? Nothing from underneath showed through. So starting next week, I was going to try to get it done today, and I just couldn't get it done. If you are wanting to receive a copy of the, you guys see me working from my guide about mediums. Last week we did clear gesso. This week we did heavy body gel. We'll be doing another medium next week. If you want to receive the guide, then you can just use this QR code. And if you're already an insider, it's fine. It won't sign you up again. Just put your name and your email, and you'll get an email delivering this guide to you. If you're new, just know that you are signing up to receive emails from Roycycled, but I won't spam you. I think that my emails have a lot of value. But if you want a copy of the guide with 5 ways to prep your pages using acrylic mediums, then you can pick it up by using that QR code. I was supposed to do that in the middle of my video. I keep getting like wrapped up. And it's just a guide, and it goes through 5 mediums to prep your pages, and then it gives you different uses for each of the mediums. And so next week I'll be talking about primer, and I'll be talking about white primer. We already did we did clear primer, transparent gesso. So next week we'll be talking about opaque gesso. And so this will be the page that I'll be teaching from next week. And then if you have a journal, you'll also receive an email with a shorter version of today's lesson on prepping your pages. So make sure and keep an eye out for that. I feel like I'm emailing you guys a lot, but it's really specific information. And it's all really useful information. And of course, I'm still trying to send out my weekly email, which you guys usually get on Wednesdays or Thursdays. And those are just inspirational emails. Anything that the Lord drops into my spirit, I share with you guys. So that's what those emails are. But that's my page for today. I kind of like her, right? It feels a little busy, but I don't know. I might look at it some more later. Oh yeah, we have to, where is my wax? We are going to put some clear wax on this really quickly. And you have like artistic wax that you can buy, but like this is just DIY wax, and it's fine. This is what I'm going to use. Some clear DIY wax right over the top of this. I'm just going to use this little piece of rag I used last night on my book spines. And I'm going to put a super thin coat of wax on this. And this is just going to keep my pages from sticking together. And this is my final coat, right, over everything. Oh yeah, I put some more paint on top of my silver right here. So it's dragging a little bit, but it'll be okay once I get the wax on there. And one of the things I didn't talk about today for the heavy body gel is you can use it as a spackle. So if you're laying down like medallions on a project and you don't want to be able to see the edge of your paper, right? You want it to really disappear, like the physical edge. You can use your clear body gel as a spackle around your edges to really get rid of that. And I demonstrated that Monday, and I may include that in today's video as well. So the video for today, last week's video was like 5 minutes, I think. The video about the heavy body gel may be a little bit longer just because it does have more applications. And I'm assuming you guys want to know all the things, right? So a little bit of clear wax on that. And now my page is all set and I don't have to worry about it sticking to this page that has gel medium. If you have a page with paint and then you have a page that has nothing, it's less likely to stick together. But if you have a spread that you've worked on, or you have like, you know, something on this page and something on this page, they're more likely to stick together, especially if you're somewhere where you're dealing with humidity. So either put a piece of wax paper or tissue paper in between, or you can do what I just did, which is to wax it. And then, of course, I have my piece of my silicone mat that I have, and it's a little bit bigger than my book, so that if I get something on my edge, I don't end up with 2 pages stuck together like that. So that is all I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Mad Scientist Monday. Oh, we'll remove that one and then make me bigger. Okay. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Y'all pray for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Mad Scientist Monday. Let me make sure I don't have any questions. Hashtag insider. But for some reason, I have trouble receiving emails. That's weird, Leslie. Do me a favor. I'm going to send an email out this afternoon. Let me know if you haven't received it. It may be, so Apple pre-reads emails before they send them to your email box. And if they decide that it is spam, you won't receive it. So do me a favor, Leslie. Put Royce at roycycled.com in your address book, and you're more likely to receive my emails, okay? Thank you, Jenny. I'm glad you joined us today. Must know all the things. Right? Bye, Connie. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. You guys have a blessed week. And you guys remember where experimentation goes, creativity follows. So be sure and make time to experiment and play, and just ask yourself what would happen if, because those are the places where you find your creative voice in the things that you love, and you find out how to use the products that you probably already have to make things that are absolutely beautiful. All right. You guys have a blessed week. Bye.